turns in terms of cities in the path of this because it's a very rural area. But Elba, in a matter of minutes, the north side of the city of Elba. And then eventually, again, if it holds together, it's going to get close to Ozark. It's going to cross US 231. It's going to go close to Barnes, Ayrton. Those are just some areas that would be impacted by this eventual possible tornado. Still nothing confirmed on this one. We did have damage reported in Abbeville along Singletary Road and trees down, structure damage with that. So we'll get more on that, of course. That's our sister station WTVY's area down there. So once we get updates regarding that, we'll have more for you on that. That's the Henry County storm that is now almost into Georgia. But we are focused on Coffee County, which is a county we cover, and the possible tornado sitting right near Saddle Hill. That is your rotation right there. The green and the red you see butting up against each other right in here. That is your possible tornado. We can even go in a little more. We'll go over some of these roads and highways again in case you're unfamiliar with some of the cities. Other than Elba, some of these other towns and locations are very, very small. State Route 189, that's where it is right now. That's Brantley Highway. County Road 354, County Road 342, and State Route 125, just to name a few. That is Smith Avenue out of downtown Elba, turns into State Route 125 there as you head north from Elba. Those are some of the highways, some of the county roads, some of the roads in general in the path of this possible tornado. Arcus, this is heading generally in your direction. So make sure you're in your tornado safe place in Arcus as well as Elba, especially the north side of the city of Elba. This warning just popped about 5 minutes ago, and it stays in effect at least unless they cancel it until 11:45. This storm is moving east at 25 miles an hour. It has not had a confirmed tornado with it at this point in time. The National Weather Service has said nothing about anything confirmed, observed, seen by the public, seen by law enforcement, but it has the potential to drop a tornado at any point. The environment today is much more like mid-March or mid-April as opposed to mid-June. So anything we see storm-wise today, the potential is there for any storm to rotate and produce a tornado. So take all warnings very seriously today. I know it's mid-June. I know you're probably in the summer mode where you just get pop-up storms each day. Today is not that day. Today is a very, very rare day in Alabama, given that it's mid-June and we've got a significant tornado and severe weather risk. So there's your latest scan. We'll get, as radar updates, you get the radar beam that just goes around in a circle, and eventually once the beam comes back to this area, you'll get a new radar scan. We can bounce back, though, between reflectivity and velocity. There's reflectivity again. And again, it's not the craziest looking storm I've ever seen. If you showed me this and didn't tell me anything about the environment, I would say there's no way that's producing a tornado. But today's environment, as I mentioned, very different. We can do shear rate. There it is right there. You can see the brighter greens, the lighter greens, and then even a little pixel there of red. That, see that right there? That may be, if there is one, that may be the actual tornado. And that on our rotation detector is in the strong category in red there. So this would be right along County Road 50 and State Route 189, this possible tornado here as it moves east at 25 miles an hour. The sheer swath, so where this storm has moved, you can track it back into Covington County. It's been rotating for a while, and at times it has exhibited some slightly stronger rotation. So there's definitely rotation evident with this thunderstorm, and certainly enough to warrant the issuance of a tornado warning here. The National Weather Service, by the way, in Tallahassee is the National Weather Service office that covers this area. So there's an update for you regarding that. We did just get, let's see, new tornado warning for Dale, Henry, Houston. That was located near Daleville, moving east at 30 miles an hour. So let's go back out. Most of those counties, by the way, are covered by Dothan. However, Dale County is one that we cover a little bit more. So there's your other polygon. So we're just tornado warning polygon festival down here in southeastern Alabama right now. So let's go back to reflectivity. There's the next tornado warning over that was just issued and includes the city of Ozark. Let's zoom in on that one. So Dale, Coffee, Henry, and Houston are all under a tornado warning right now. And it looks like they're about to issue a new tornado watch to include more of Alabama. Most of Alabama is under a tornado watch already until 5 o'clock, but it looks like they're about to add additional counties in Alabama. So if you're not under a tornado watch, it looks like additional counties are soon to be added. But let's go into the Dale County tornado warning. So Coffee, Dale, Houston, Henry, all under a tornado warning right now. It includes the city of Elba, One includes the city of Ozark, especially south of downtown Ozark, Midland City, Headland, and downtown Dothan, all under a tornado warning at this point in time. There's your rotation with this storm, and right there, the reds and greens are certainly evident south of downtown Ozark. So Ozark sits right here. If you were driving south on 231 out of Ozark, you get past the Love's gas station there. Just past that, that is where this possible tornado is going to cross here. So it's that point about midway between Ozark and the Houston County line, give or take, is where this possible tornado is going to go. Let's put reflectivity back on. I think that tells the story a little better with this particular storm. There it is. This one, again, doesn't look like a classic storm, classic supercell tornado producing storm, but it looks a little healthier than the one in Coffee County. So you've got lightning with this one, and a lot of lightning has flared up. And lightning can be an indicator that a storm is strengthening, rotating, and could produce a tornado at any point in time. So the fact that we're seeing a lot of lightning with this is certainly an indicator that A, the storm itself is getting its act together, and B, it could produce a tornado, hence the tornado warning. That again includes Ozark, at least the south side of Ozark. But I think the tornado, which is would be situated right in here, would go south of the city of Ozark. It's going to cross US 231 in a matter of minutes, State Route 123, County Road 34, County Road 20, County Road 35. Those are just some of the county roads and highways and roadways that go through this area here. If you're not familiar, once you get south of Ozark, it turns a little rural, but there's certainly some roads and highways that we could mention down there. Maybe folks in that area would certainly get an idea of where this is going if we just named some of those roads. That's why we're doing that. Your possible tornado sits right here. I'll go ahead and circle that area, and I know, bear with me, in red, it's sometimes hard to see with a lot of red with this storm, but your possible tornado is right here. So it's between Allen Heights and Ozark right now is the new tornado warn storm that we're talking about. But don't forget, Coffee County is also under a tornado warning. And this warning also includes Henry and Houston. So we've got a lot of wiregrass activity going on right now in that part of the state. A lot of tornado warnings, 3 of them, in fact, for the southeastern part of Alabama. No other part of the state, at least as of right now, checking with the National Weather Service in Birmingham, yet no other county that we cover other than Coffee, Dale, Houston, Henry. There's no other county under a tornado warning, but we cover Coffee and Dale. That's why we're in live wall-to-wall tornado coverage. That's what we do. If there's a tornado warning for a county we are responsible for, we go in, we cut in, we stay on until the tornado threat is gone. So there's you can see, there's my circle that I drew. Now the storm has moved a little east. So it's moving east, not really fast, but moderate speed, about 30 miles an hour. So this is, by the way, a radar indicated tornado warning like the Coffee County storm. Neither of these right now are confirmed tornadoes on the ground. They are both radar indicated. So certainly this one looks a lot more ominous than this one back here. This is just a shower, really, in Coffee County. But with our environment, even a shower, it doesn't have to storm. Even just a rain shower in this environment can rotate enough to drop a tornado. So that's why this shower right here has caused a tornado warning to be issued for Coffee County. This one is much more healthy and has a lot of lightning with it, and certainly has my attention with all that lightning flaring up over the last few minutes here for Dale right now, but downstream, it's going to go between Dothan and Newville here. So this is a more populated area down in this region. Again, we have a sister station in Dothan, WTVY, who would be on for all of these warnings. And assuming all these storms move out of Coffee and Dale and it becomes a Houston and Henry issue only, once we get to that point, if we get to that point where it's only Houston and Henry, we would jump out of live coverage. But as long as Coffee and or Dale counties are under a tornado warning, we will certainly stay on. But again, if you want additional coverage, we do have a sister station who is on right now, WTVY in Dothan. But we've got 2 tornado warnings, 3 technically. This one's going to expire any minute, but we've got 2 other ones, Coffee, Dale, Houston, Henry. The Coffee County goes to 11:45. The Houston, Henry, and Dale County warning goes until 12 o'clock. And it's possible these get canceled early. It's possible they get extended. We'll just have to wait and see how fast these storms move. If the National Weather Service believes that they're not capable of producing a tornado anymore, they'll drop the warning early if that's the case. But for now, 11:45 on this warning, 12 o'clock noon on this warning, and we're going to stay with these storms until further notice and resume Alabama Live if and when we get the opportunity here. I think this is unfortunately just the beginning of what's going to be a very busy, active day. I do think there's going to be a lot more of this to be had over the course of the afternoon, evening, and overnight. There's probably going to be multiple tornado warnings. I would expect multiple warnings in addition to the watch we have now. I wouldn't be shocked if they extended the watch to last later into the day. Right now it goes until 5 o'clock. But it would not surprise me if the watch ends up including A, more counties, B, gets extended past 5 o'clock. So it's a day to be weather aware, a day to stay on top of the forecast. Check back with us. We will provide updates as necessary all day long. Nick, Josh, and myself will all be here, and we will have updates on the website, WSFA.com, the weather app, and of course, social media, a great place to check for updates as well. But right now, first and foremost, our attention is on Coffee County, Dale County, and eventually Henry and Houston, tornado-warned storms down in that part of the state. The National Weather Service believes a tornado is possible with both of these storms. This one certainly has my attention a little more than this one, but it doesn't have to necessarily look overwhelmingly strong to produce a tornado. So just because it looks like this, I know at home you're probably thinking that doesn't look much more than a brief downpour. And you're right, on radar that's what it looks like. But with the environment we have in place, it doesn't take much more than a shower to produce a tornado. So that's why that warning is in effect. We'll go to the home view here and show you the rest of the region. And really, all this is behaving itself as of right now. It doesn't necessarily mean it'll stay that way, but everything else, yeah, it's loud from Montgomery to Opelika along Interstate 85. That would not be a fun drive right now, that's for certain. But this is all behaving itself. Most of this is just heavy rain, thunder, lightning, gusty wind, and maybe some penny-size hail. That would be it. So if you're getting stormed on right now, but you don't have a warning, just know there is no threat of severe weather at this point in time with the storms that are currently over you. But again, the environment today is very hostile. It's going to support severe weather. I think there's going to be many more warnings to come. So just because you're not under a warning now doesn't mean your threat's over. This is a threat that will linger all day into tonight. Right now, our focus, again, all sub-severe in Montgomery in the river region. Nothing severe there. Our focus is down in southeastern Alabama, where we have some tornado warnings right now, and they go for another about 30, 40 minutes, give or take. So let's go back into those two storms. We'll go to the Dale County one first. Again, this is passing just south of Ozark here. If you're in downtown Ozark, you're fine. You're not going to see a tornado, but you may still have the warning in effect if you're south of downtown Ozark. If you're in the warning, technically, so if you're Ozark, right in the middle of the city, south, be in your tornado safe place, you'll be able to come out shortly. The tornado itself, though, would be situated right here near Plainview. That's where the tornado would be. So it's going to go south of downtown Ozark, but it is going to cross 231. If you're familiar with this area, County Road 18, County Road 20, County Road 35, Browns Crossroad, County Road 16, County Road 61. Again, with there being limited towns and cities in this area, sometimes naming roads and highways will help folks at home understand where this tornado is. So if you're not familiar with this area and you're wondering where all this is, well, if it's not impacting you, it's okay. This is to help people who do live in this area and are familiar with it, or if you know folks that are down in this area. Let's switch back. Let's turn lightning off real quick, because that is most definitely a distraction. We'll go to our relative velocity, our base velocity, and granted, this is a messy signature. There's nothing here that would jump out as being substantial or significant in terms of a tornado at this point in time, but the storm has that structure. You've got your body right here of the storm where you've probably got some hail, heavy rain and lightning, and then you've got that little hook, if you will, that appendage on the back side of the storm right over Plainview and Waterford right now. Newton, Kelly, these are all communities near where this possible tornado would be existing, right over State Route 123 here. If you're familiar with that area in Dale County. Possible tornado right over Plainview. That is crossing 231 in a matter of less than a couple of minutes here. It's going to cross 231, which runs right here between Dothan and Ozark. And that's going to go right toward Browns Crossroad here as the storm moves east. I think this stays just north of Midland City, although Midland City is in the tornado warning. I do think this possible tornado right here is going to stay just north of Midland City. Let's put a track on this one like we did with the Coffee County storm. and see where this one's going to end up going here. So your possible tornado, again, the storm is much bigger than where the tornado would be. We're just going to do and focus on where the tornado would be. It's going to be moving, generally speaking, like this. So you've got Midland City at 1132, Napier Field at 1136. You've got Headland at 1146. And if this were to continue way down the road, you're all the way into Columbia in far northeastern Houston County by 1211. So assuming it holds together, this is generally the path it's going to take. So if you know anyone in east central Dale County, and then if you know anyone in southern Henry, this one will not hit Abbeville. Abbeville was already hit by a confirmed tornado. This one would be southern Henry County if it holds together and continues to be capable of producing a tornado. The news out of Abbeville, we'll get more as we learn more, but I've gotten confirmation from law enforcement in the National Weather Service chat group that there was structure damage in Abbeville as well as trees down. So we'll have to wait and see if we can get some imagery or some other reports from the Abbeville area in northern Henry County. Right now, though, we're still focused on a pair of tornado warnings. Neither is confirmed, neither is observed. Both of these are radar indicated. For Coffee, Elba, by the way, you are still in the tornado warning, but if you're in downtown Elba, if you're really close to downtown Elba, you can come out of that safe place. The shower that is possibly going to produce or has produced a tornado, we don't have any confirmation of that, but it is past downtown Elba at this point. So if you're really, really close to downtown Elba, you may have an Elba address, and you may be outside of downtown. If you're not close to downtown Elba, I would stay in your tornado safe place. But if you are right in the middle of the city, you are fine. The shower is past you. The tornado warning will likely be dropped for Elba very, very soon. That is now into northeastern Coffee County. Then we've got this supercell thunderstorm that is capable of producing a tornado crossing US 231 right now between Ozark and Midland City, possibly producing a tornado here right along US 231. Still radar indicated here. That's the latest update for us regarding that storm. So radar indicated tornado near 231 between Ozark and Midland City, and another one in Coffee County. Let's check on the Coffee County one. I know we've been pretty focused here on the Dale County storm. The Coffee County storm, which is not even technically a storm, there's no lightning with it, is warned because there was rotation with it. We'll see if we've still got that going on. And rotation has most definitely weakened and come down with this storm. Shear rate's not showing anything strong, but here are just a couple of points that exhibited strong rotation with this shower. So clearly at points it was rotating, and it was rotating pretty strongly. So that's why they're continuing the tornado warning for now. The possible tornado would be right over the Arcus community. And at times there was strong rotation observed with this. We'll have to see if we get any reports out of this area. But right now, the current shear rate, there's not a lot going on. It's much weaker. That's good news. So that shower may be downtrending right now, but we still have that tornado warning in effect. It is still a radar indicated tornado possible here. So tornado possible in Coffee County. If we go back to the Dale County storm and check shear rate out down there, there's not a whole lot to be had with it right now. Certainly our shear swath is going to show where this has tracked over the last handful of minutes there. Allen Heights, Plainview, you can see the red there. And then now it's right up to 231. But current shear rate, this is right now, there's not a whole lot there, which is, of course, good news. We'll always take that. Base velocity, kind of noisy. Radar sits right here, by the way. So radar is getting a great view at this. It is very close to the storm itself. The radar is. They are very close together. And when the radar is close to the storm, it sees the storm at a lower level. That's where tornadoes would be. Tornadoes are located in the lowest level of the atmosphere. So when you get radar, the beam that cuts right into that storm, very low to the ground, that's going to give you good data. And right now, I don't see anything in this data that would suggest there's anything on the ground. That is why we're calling this a radar indicated possible tornado about to move over US 231 between Ozark and Midland City. Reflectivity, I think, shows it better. You've got the body of the storm here. We'll turn on lightning just for a minute. A lot of lightning with this. So this storm is certainly capable of producing a tornado, given its structure, given the environment we've got in place today. There is a lot of wind shear for June. There's a lot of storm energy, storm fuel. There is a lot of warmth. There's a lot of mugginess, a lot of moisture. The ingredients for severe weather are much more like a March or April day than a June day. This is going to go down pretty much unprecedented when it comes to June severe weather days here in Alabama. So looks like Tallahassee, the National Weather Service in Tallahassee, just canceled the tornado warning for Coffee. So at the bottom there, yep, perfect. They're on it in the back, helping us out with the bottom of the TV you see there. That is where we list the counties. Coffee just got dropped, and we're about to have an updated one for you, which will not include Coffee anymore, but will still include Dale, Houston, and Henry. We just got a severe thunderstorm warning for Barber County. Not a tornado warning for Barber. That is a severe thunderstorm warning. So we'll take you to Barber just real quick. Not a tornado warning, but a severe thunderstorm warning. We'll take you there just to show you the storm that we're looking at in Barber County here. So it's going to be for this one right here once that warning pops on. That's near Clayton. There it is. There's your severe thunderstorm warning for Barber. That is in orange because it's a severe thunderstorm warning, not a tornado warning. This one right now is not tornadic. This is for hail to the size of ping pong balls, about 1.5 inches in diameter, maximum hail size with this storm, and wind up to 60 miles an hour. The storm in Barber County is not tornadic warned at this point. It doesn't have any signs, or at least strong signs, of producing a tornado here. We'll turn off lightning. There is a lot of lightning with it and some very heavy rain, that's for certain. But right now, the rotation with the storm in Barber County, it's not tight enough to warrant a tornado warning. So a severe thunderstorm warning is in effect for Barber County. This includes the city of Eufaula. It includes Clayton. It includes Cotton Hill. If you're in any of these areas, a severe thunderstorm is headed your way. At any point, this storm could become tornadic, so we'll have to watch that one closely. Let's go back down to the tornado warning, though, that is in effect for Dale County as well as Houston and Henry County. So this tornado warning storm is still radar indicated. It is not confirmed, still is not confirmed. And it looks like they went ahead and dropped Houston as well, which is some good news. We'll take any drop of a county we can get. Dale and Henry until 12 o'clock. Dale and Henry until 12 o'clock for this storm located near Browns Crossroad, Sylvan Grove. It's going to go very close to the Blackwood community, Newville, Headland. It's going to go very close to those areas here. Your possible tornado sits right here. It's still radar indicated. There's no evidence that this thing is on the ground, but it certainly has the shape of a storm that could produce a tornado. And again, the environment today is just off the charts for this time of year. So that is until 12 o'clock. Radar indicated tornado located over Newton, moving east at 30 miles an hour here. That's according to the National Weather Service. So if you're wondering when you can get out of your safe place, if you're in Coffee, you're good. If you're in Houston, you're good. If you're in Dale, southeast of Ozark, if you're in this warning polygon in Dale County, which your First Alert Weather app will tell you if you're in the warning, or if you're into southwestern Henry, which includes Headland and Newville, that is where the tornado warning is still in effect. And you see this right here, this red, couple pixels there that are red, that would be, if I were looking at this and just strictly off meteorology, that would be exactly where the tornado would be situated, if there was indeed one, would be right there. Sometimes storms will exhibit a uptick in what looks like rain, heavy rain on radar, but it's actually a tornado. And right now, the shear and all that, certainly not showing anything overly significant, but that would still be it if there was indeed a tornado. County Road 20, County Road 59, south of Browns Crossroad, but very close to that intersection there. And it's going to go near Sylvan Grove and then eventually into Henry. And we've got not too long until it's out of Dale. We'll stay with it while it's in Dale, but once it jumps out of Dale, and assuming, knock on wood, plastic, but we'll call it wood, assuming no other warnings are issued, tornado warnings, once this clears Dale, we'll be good to go for now. But as I mentioned, this is going to be a busy day, I think, unfortunately, for us. I don't think we're done after this. So while we may be able to, once this clears Dale County, go to regular programming, as of right now we're not. Once Dale is cleared, we can, if we don't have another tornado warning issue. Let's go ahead. I've got the tornado watch pulled up. I'll go ahead and show you that just so you can familiarize yourself with counties that are in that tornado watch. There it is. So most of the area here. Now, if you're down here and you're not in that tornado watch, that does not mean your threat is low or zero. It just means at this point in time, you don't have a watch in effect. But I really think that'll change as the day goes on. If you're not in a watch, if you're in Wilcox, Monroe, Conecuh, Butler, Crenshaw, Covington, Escambia, Mobile, Baldwin, I think eventually there's going to be a watch issued for those counties. Everybody else is under a tornado watch. For most of us, it goes until 5 o'clock. It goes a little later down here in the Wiregrass, but for most of us, this goes until 5 o'clock. If you're in the Wiregrass, it goes until 7 o'clock. This watch may be extended longer, may be cut short, but there's also the possibility that if this gets canceled, another one's issued because we get more rounds of storms that are going to come through over the course of this event. This is going to be a multi-storm event. This is going to be a multi-round event. There's going to be rain and storms and multiple storms that could be strong to severe over the course of the day, into this evening, into tonight. So that's the latest regarding the forecast going forward. The tornado watch. Right now, our focus is on the tornado warning that is in effect for Dale and Henry counties. Again, we had a confirmed tornado that did damage in downtown Abbeville. We've got reports of that. We've got law enforcement that have said that. We've got video reports of the tornado as well. So we'll wait and see what we find out from Abbeville. Right now, outside of that, we've got a storm capable of producing a tornado moving just north of Midland City here. They kind of took the polygon and squished it down a little bit, got it more concise where the tornado threat is likely to be confined. So Midland City, technically, at least the heart of Midland City, is not in this warning, but still, I would stay, if you're just north of Midland City, stay in that tornado safe place. Newville and Headland, it is heading in your direction. This is exceptionally close to the radar, so you're going to get great data with this storm here. And your possible tornado is, again, where that hook is on the back side of the storm. We'll zoom in and give folks a better idea here. If this was producing a tornado, it would be right about there, right over County Road 59. County Road 532, County Road 14. It's going to go very close to Sylvan Grove. Kirkland's Crossroads here, Blackwood. These are all very small communities, if not intersections. So unless you're down in that area and you travel there a lot or you live there, you probably aren't familiar with some of these names that are popping up on your screen. But that's okay. This is for the folks that are familiar with these areas here to help them out. That's your possible tornado right there that I have circled in the little hook of the storm. So right now, rotation-wise and going through all this, still nothing. It has been rotating, that's for certain. But at this exact moment in time, there's nothing overly concerning on radar. But again, there are times when you have a radar presentation that may not be the most impressive, but you can still get a tornado out of it. So certainly take this warning seriously. Just because you hear me saying that it doesn't look that impressive on radar, that doesn't mean you're fine. That doesn't mean you're all clear. It just means at this exact moment in time, maybe it doesn't look as organized as it once did. But if you're in the warning, you need to stay in that safe place until farther notice. But that's why we're staying on this storm, because it does have the potential to drop a tornado at any point in time. The environment today is, again, I've said it several times, it belongs in a meteorology textbook across the Deep South. This is June 14th, and we have an environment that looks much more like mid-March or mid-April. So let that sink in for a moment. And you get a mid-March or mid-April environment combined with the warmth and humidity you get in June like we have, and you can get trouble. And that's what we've already seen. We've already had one confirmed tornado do damage in Abbeville. There's a possible tornado now in Dale County. And there could very well be additional warnings. In fact, I would be willing, if I was a betting man, I'd be willing to bet there'd be more tornado warnings throughout the day. So it's going to be a busy, active day. You're probably going to see more of Nick, Josh, and I than you wish you ever did. So that's something to look forward to, maybe not, throughout the day today. So Dale County, Henry County until 12 o'clock. It is 11:33. It is Wednesday, June 14th. And we are tracking severe weather, a tornado warning right now for southeast Alabama. Everybody else, let's just go to the home view, kind of reset things here. And we'll go to our Maxwell radar site, which is going to give us the best view of the river region. A lot of action, sure. A lot of these storms are producing a lot of lightning. There's a lot of heavy rain. There could even be a little bit of small hail and gusty wind with a lot of these cells. But nothing else is severe other than that tornado warned storm in Dale and Henry counties. And then you've got a severe thunderstorm warning. We haven't forgotten about you, Barber County. I promise you that, right over Clayton. If you're in Clayton, you are getting an absolute downpour with a bunch of thunder and lightning, probably some hail to the size of Nichols quarters, if not larger. And there could be some wind gusts of 50 to 60 miles an hour with that storm. That is an intense thunderstorm here over Clayton in Barber County, just north of Louisville, north of Blue Springs State Park, north of Clio. That's going to go right toward the city of Eufaula here. That's heading right for Eufaula. Let's check the rotation on this one just to make sure it's behaving itself. It's definitely rotating. The reds and greens, you can see a little bit of that there. Let's turn lightning off. You can see a little bit of rotation there for sure, right near the Clayton area, but let's switch radars, check out that one too. Yeah, it's definitely exhibiting some rotation right near Clayton. So given, again, the environment today, any of these storms could become tornadic very quickly. So we'll have to watch Barber County. We're in constant contact with the National Weather Service in Birmingham, and right now we haven't heard anything else regarding that storm, but if we do, and once we get something from them, we can kind of pass that message along and let you know what they're thinking and seeing as well. So right now, severe thunderstorm warning for Barber, and then you've got the tornado warning that is still in effect for parts of Dale and Henry counties, and that possible tornado is situated right in here. It's near Browns Crossroad, Blackwood, Sylvan Grove. It's right in this area here. Here's the radar, by the way. You see his little donut where there's nothing showing up right over Echo. That's the radar beam down there. So you're getting about as close of data as you could ever get when it comes to where the storm is compared to the radar. So we're waiting on some additional thoughts here on this storm in particular. And again, as soon as the National Weather Service says anything, comments anything, I will pass that along. There's your updated rotation detector. It looks like we got a little jump or a little uptick, and we're in that strong category now with the rotation here. Just east of Browns Crossroad, getting really close to the Dale and Henry County line with this possible tornado right in this area here. That looks like a little uptick. And certainly velocity is supporting that right here, right on Mount Carmel Road. That looks a little interesting to me, definitely piquing my interest on that. County Road 46, County Road 83, Kirkland's Crossroads. Possible tornado certainly right here, right over Mount Carmel Road, just south, and I mean just south of Snow Hill and Echo. This is getting close to the Henry County line, which is right here. We're in Dale County right here, but it's getting very close to crossing into Henry County. Still a radar indicated tornado, but assuming the data is good, the latest shear rate is certainly a little more concerning than what we've seen over the last few radar scans. So we'll wait and see when we get new scans in. We can see if this red just goes away, that tells you that was a bad radar scan. But if more red shows up downstream here with a new radar update, that would tell me that this is legitimate data, and certainly a little bit showing up there. So there could be some slight strengthening of this storm. Now, the one negative, it may seem counterintuitive. When you get too close to the radar, sometimes data can look like this, and that's less than ideal. You would think the closer you are, the better, and in general, yes. But if you get too close to a radar beam, sometimes it can miss things. So this is one of those situations where we're so close that unless we have ground truth or observers down there to tell us what they're seeing, radar can only get us so much. So we would take this as, well, there's a tornado warning, and the storm on reflectivity still looks like it could produce a tornado, so we assume that it certainly still could, even though the data, you see that there, the way it's looking on radar, because the radar beam is right there, it looks really messy. That is for sure. But because of the way the storm looks, you got to use your context clues here sometimes with the way radar and storms interact. It's just the way it is. But there could be certainly a tornado right over and near Kirkland's Crossroads as that gets really close here, the possible tornado to the Henry and Dale County line. We've got, let's see, the National Weather Service in Birmingham just continuing the severe thunderstorm warning for Barber County. That goes until 12:30 for winds up to 60 miles per hour and hail quarter size to $half size with the storm in Barber County. Again, that is heading right for Eufaula if you're in Barber County here. And there's still no update. It's been about 10 minutes since the National Weather Service has updated this warning. We'll see what they do with it in the next couple of minutes. Technically speaking, it goes until 12 o'clock, but that's 22 minutes from now, and there are several communities that are no longer in the threat zone with this storm. So I think this warning is either going to be trimmed, extended farther into Henry County, or both. We'll have to see. But it still has the characteristics of producing a tornado. That's for sure. There's no way to rule out a tornado with this storm, just given the way it looks right now. But at this exact moment in time, I don't see anything, at least with the tools we have here in the Vance Law Firm Storm Track Zone, that would suggest there's a tornado on the ground. Of course, if there are storm chasers, spotters, law enforcement down in that area that do see something, we would get message of that, and we would pass it along to you. Sometimes radar can only get you so far, and this unfortunately is one of those situations. Let's go back to the home view here just to make sure none of these other storms start misbehaving, and right now they're not. All these other storms are sub-severe still. It's just the severe thunderstorm warning in Barber County and then the tornado warning for Dale and Henry counties. That's it. Everything else is sub-severe, and a lot of this doesn't even have lightning with it. So we'll have to see if any of these other ones get going here, and they very well could. It could happen very, very fast on a day like today. So always be vigilant and weather aware. Just because you're not under a warning now doesn't mean you're fine or clear for hours on end. There's a very good possibility things act up very quickly as these showers and storms push through. Still some loud stuff there in southern Lee County. That's not far from Smith Station, Phoenix City, Columbus, Russell County and Lee County and Macon County right now getting hit very hard by a lot of heavy rain, a lot of lightning, gusty wind and small hail. All sub-severe, also a pretty intense storm right over Lake Martin. But the reason why we're on TV is this right here, this storm that is getting close to Headland and Newville in Henry County. Still barely in Dale County, and we'll stay on it until it officially crosses into Henry County. This possible tornado here is very close to the radar beam down in this part of the world, and you definitely see a little bit of rotation showing up there. And if we go to the radar that's really close to this storm, like we've been using this whole time, you get some messy returns, but there it is. Most definitely a hook on that storm that could produce a tornado. Still technically speaking in Dale County. Again, once this crosses, we'll continue with the message of once this crosses strictly into Henry, we'll jump off and resume whatever's left of our current newscast. We have Alabama Live that goes till about noon, and then you've got the news at noon, of course, after that. If this becomes exclusively Henry County, once it does, and we're talking a matter of minutes, and no other tornado warnings are issued, we would, of course, jump into regular news programming. But anytime a tornado warning is issued, we, of course, will jump right back in. And I do think over the course of the day, there are going to be more tornado warnings that we see. There's just that much going on in the atmosphere. It's going to be a busy day. Unfortunately, that's just the simplest way to put it. There's no way to sugarcoat it. There's no reason to say anything other than that to try to make it sound better. Just spitting the truth here, giving you the latest on what's going on for today. Sally Pitts is going to join us. What do you got, Sally?
Well, I did reach out to the Dale County Sheriff just to check on things down. We're talking about these tornado warnings, but Tyler, with these storms, that's not the only concern we saw in Lee County today. A lot of roads blocked off because of flooding. Flooding can be very dangerous in these situations as well. These type of storms have the ability to dump a lot of rain in a short amount of time. So if you can stay off the roadways today, please just stay inside if you can. I know a lot of activities have been canceled today. So if you can stay indoors today. Just play it safe. I mentioned Lee County. They had a lot of roads blocked off because of flooding. A lot of those have cleared now. I believe they have one around the Piggly Wiggly there in Ozark along Pepperell Parkway that is still blocked off at this time because of flooding. And it doesn't take a whole lot of water to cause problems. Tyler.
No, and that's exactly the message that a lot of folks may overlook with flooding. First of all, flooding gets put way behind all the other severe weather hazards, which is unfortunate because flooding is a big killer every year in the United States. If there's a flash flood warning today, you need to take it seriously, as we saw this morning. And those weren't even the most intense storms we're going to see with this system, and there was still flooding. So, I mean, if you get a storm like this and then you get another one, then you get another one, flooding could be a very significant issue as well.
We mentioned that we're hearing some possibility about some damage in the Abbeville area. Please don't go out and sightsee. If you are not a first responder, if you don't need to be out in areas that have some damage, please do not head that way, because it's not just the storm as it passes through that's dangerous. A lot of times injuries and even fatalities happen after a storm moves through because there are a lot of hazards. Like we mentioned, flooding, power lines are down. There's a lot of debris that could be down. So those are also hazards. So please do not go out and sightsee. Again, if you can just stay home today, stay home, stay off the roads. Yeah,
that's the best message. And I think all of our EMA directors would say the same thing. They say it every time. We'll get the information that you need when we can get it. There's no need to drive into anything that gets damaged. I know everyone wants to take the photo. They want to take the video. They want to go viral on social media. But other folks' safety and other folks' lives and well-being are way more important and the emergency personnel have to be able to get to where they're going. I mean,
that's so important. These are lives, and when people have damage to their homes, these are their lives. It's a very difficult time for them, and so please just be respectful of all the people who are dealing with the situation. That includes the folks affected by the storm, and that includes the first responders who are out there. You know, a great way to get weather information throughout the day, wherever you are, is the WSFA First Alert weather app. It is a great tool to have on hand. It will go where you go, and we talked about this yesterday, Tyler, that I love that follow me setting under the location tab. If you click that, wherever you go, it follows you. I just got an alert about lightning being in my area.
Yeah, X amount of miles from your spot.
And so then you know, okay, this is close to me. You're going to get those alerts when the warnings are sent out. You're going to get those right there to your phone if you go in there into your settings and set up to get those alerts. And you can really kind of personalize that weather app to what you need. And it may need to be updated. Yesterday on air, I scanned that QR code that we put up for the weather app, and my app needed to be updated. So make sure that your weather app is up to date.
Check your app settings. Yeah, sometimes it won't update on its own. You actually need to go into settings. If you're on an Android or an iPhone, both are the same, and make sure, check for updates. And if it pops up as needing one, go ahead and let it go. So there's your new update, by the way, Sally. So now this tornado warning is just Henry, and because that is most definitely a Dothan County, and there's no other tornado warnings in our viewing area, which is, of course, good news. Severe thunderstorm for Barber. That is not tornadic at this point. No other polygons yet, and that's only Henry now with a tornado warning. I think, I know it's 11:46. I would assume we would jump into Alabama Live, or do we stay with... We'll get, they'll let us know in the back.
Yes, they will. And I just want to mention, a lot of folks see this and they see all of these rain and these storms pushing toward Georgia. This doesn't mean that we're done with the weather just yet today.
And that's a really important message here. We've tried all week to reiterate the fact that this is going to be round and, over and over again, you're going to get hit by storms. And that's exactly it. This is just a round within rounds of thunderstorms that are on the way. So don't let your guard down after this. This is not one of those days where if you get rain, that cools us down and then the threat's over. No, the atmosphere is really amped up today. So this is going to be a busy day into the evening and night. I think we're going to have multiple rounds of storms, and the tornado watch is still there till 5 o'clock. And we're at 11:47. So you've got time still where storms could become severe. And
again, the tornado warnings are no longer in our viewing area. We're still, for those of you with loved ones in that area, we're still going to keep an eye on that tornado warning that's there in Henry County right now. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back.